Hey everyone, how are you goddesses? Really looking forward to today's topic. Today is Tuesday because I want to talk about chapter 3 and the compound effect. And this is one of the chapters that really resonates with me and I think is one of the more important chapters in the book because it starts to talk about your why. So it's getting away from willpower and starting to tap into your why power. And this is really important for your self motivation to staying on track with your goals. You know, we can have willpower to keep us away from chocolate or wine or whatever it is for X amount of time. But what about your why power? Why are you really doing this? What is the lifestyle change you want to make? How will it make you feel to achieve those goals that you want to achieve? How will your life change? Start to get in tap with your core values and look and see if your behaviors and your actions are in line with your values. There's no more stress, or there's not any way more to get stress by having your actions and your behaviors out of line with your values. So if you can start to line things up, or if you run into a circumstance where you have to ask yourself that question, does this align with my core values? And the answer is no, then step away from it. If you're asking yourself that question and you're like, yeah, this definitely aligns with my core values, then absolutely go for it. So one of the equations in this chapter, and this is kind of the equation I really want us to focus on throughout the remainder of our time together here, is the equation that he has on page 74, and it's you. Choice, meaning your decisions, plus behavior, meaning your actions, plus habit, your repeated action, plus compounded, meaning time, how much time, equals your goals. So that means if I wake up every morning and I say, my decision, my choice is to live a healthy life. And then my behavior is, I'm going to make a green drink. I'm going to use my 21-day fix containers every day. I'm going to eat off of the eating guide. And then my habit comes in. That habit of sneaking in the cabinet and grabbing a handful of tortilla chips, or having a chunk of chocolate, or drinking a glass of wine, which for me means drinking a bottle of wine, and then add the time so that that's happening 365 days of the year. That's the outcome, whether it's pushing you towards your goal or away from your goal, right? Whereas what if I replace that habit? What if my habit was now to take a 30-minute walk, or to do a 30-minute video when I would normally grab the tortilla chips or grab that glass, aka bottle of wine, right? That 30-minute workout that I did for 365 days of the year. Whoa, can you imagine the compounded effects? Talk about moving towards your goals or away from your goals. It's really powerful. So, he's talking here on page 77 about game changers and 5 strategies for eliminating bad habits. One is to identify your triggers, and I think this is one of the most important ones, especially when you're talking about food. A lot of us use food as a drug, and we use it to comfort ourselves emotionally. So if you're bored, or if you're not into the work you're doing, you might saunter into the kitchen and put something in your mouth. Or, if it just happens to be 6 o'clock and everybody's unwinding and some alcohol's coming out, that might be your habit for comfort, so that you don't have to deal with any sort of family confrontation or loneliness or anything that else is coming up for you. So identify what that trigger is that pulls you in to do that thing. And that's the first thing you need to work with, is your trigger. If it's loneliness, if it's non-confrontation, if it's avoidance, whatever it is. Number 2, clean house. Get a scrubbing, and it means literally and figuratively. So that means, like, if you don't want to drink alcohol, clean all the alcohol out of your house. If you don't want to eat chocolate, don't have that bag of M&Ms in the cabinet. Can you see who we're talking about here? So you need to really get everything out of your way. And later on, we are going to do some house cleaning together, really digging into those areas of our life that we're avoiding, whether that's a space in the house or a junk drawer or whatever. We're going to clean it out. But for now, notice what your trigger is and what it is that you reach for, and let's clear all of that out of your space. Swap it out. So one of my favorite phrases is to crowd out. So instead of always thinking like, I can't have X, Y, or Z, instead of having those things, how can you crowd them out by adding in other things? So if you're not going to have, maybe there's a sweet you love, like for me, it's chocolate covered raisins. I love them, right? Well, what can I have instead? I really like frozen grapes, and I don't eat too many of them because they're cold, and so it's cold on your teeth. So that's a great swap out for me, and I'm crowding out that space with something else that's going to clinch that craving. So think about what you can add into your day, whether it is a food something, or maybe it's something else. Maybe it's time alone, reading a book. Maybe it's a walk in a park. Maybe it's doing a workout, connecting with a friend on the phone. It could be many things, walking your dog. Any of these things can crowd out some of our less than lackluster habits. Number 4 is to ease in. For some of us, our long-standing and deep-rooted habits are going to be really hard to break, so you need to ease into them. You need to give yourself time. But number 5, conversely, is to jump right in, because not everybody needs that cold ease in step. Some people, if you're trying to get off coffee, will do better if they go cold turkey. And you'll have headaches for maybe 3 days, but you get over it quicker. Whereas some people are like, I still need that little bit of coffee, that little bit of, green tea or whatever is going to give me enough caffeine just to get over that hump. It might take me, 2 weeks to get over the hump because I'm moving a little bit slower, but I need that little bit. So figure out what it is for you. If it's jumping right in, cold turkey, stopping something, or if it's easing in and just getting your toes wet a little bit. And then on top of that, he talks about running a vice check where once a month he altogether gives up something. And you might be doing that right now. You might have chosen that you're giving up wine for this 21 days or chocolate. I'm using these because they're my examples, but there are also things that I kind of hear continuity on with the group. But you can see what that is for you. It might be letting go of a passive attitude or negative self-speak, self-berating thoughts. It might be crowding that out with affirmation. So see if you can do maybe a 21-day cleanse, and that doesn't have to be food related. It can be to anything in your life that is something that's holding you back. Moving forward, he also talks about the game changers, the techniques that set you up for good habits. So obviously, these are kind of simple. When you need to set yourself up, you need to set yourself up for success. There's a saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I talk about that a lot with food prep, right? Where if you are trying to clean up your lifestyle and your diet and you just haven't taken the time to prepare fresh food, we all come to the house hungry. We all open up the cabinet or the refrigerator and hang out and just grab whatever is available and looks good and maybe fresh or the freshest we can get. And a lot of times we just stand and we eat it, and we don't even nurture ourselves by sitting down and recognizing if what we're eating is actually feeding us in our hunger or all of our 7 other hungers, like our mind hunger and our heart hunger and our emotional hunger and our cellular hunger. So set yourself up for success. Remind yourself to have the food available, to plate your food, to sit down, to breathe, to meditate. Always devise the time you need. And that does have to do with time management a little bit. So you might even do a little bit more pre-planning, spending time with your calendar to make sure that you are scheduling in your workouts, whether that means getting up 30 minutes earlier or 10 minutes earlier to get a quick ab fix in, or scheduling in time at the end of the evening or the beginning of the day or midday to prep some food for the rest of your day. Think addition, not subtraction. That goes back to the concept I already talked about of crowding out. So instead of having to get rid of everything, start to bring more stuff in. So if you're getting rid of self-berating thoughts, if you are someone that is just so highly critical and you're always talking shit to yourself, instead start to write daily affirmations. Write them on a Post-it note. Put them on your mirror. Put them by your bedside table. Write in a gratitude journal. So crowd that stuff out. And the last one is this is the third. Those were the only 3 I was going to talk about, but apparently there's 6. So the third one is go for PDA, public display of accountability. And so part of that you're doing in this group, like those of you that have posted before photos, that's being accountable. It's like, okay, this is me now, but this is not going to be me in 21 days. That's accountability. Posting your food journal every night and committing to that, that's accountability. Getting on your social media, your Facebook page or whatever, and saying, okay, you guys, I'm doing a 21-day challenge. Does anybody want to do this with me, right? That's accountability, letting people know what you're doing. Tell the people in your household, tell your friends, let them hold you accountable, your coworkers as well. Number 4 is find a success buddy. You guys, there are 20 awesome women in this group. So surely within that, you can find a success buddy, and I can be your success buddy. That's what I'm here for. But to have a success buddy, you need to actually use them. whether we're doing calls together, and unfortunately I probably won't have time to do a call with everyone here every week, so it's easier for me to use this online community, but you can connect with one another. If you find someone in here that you really resonate with, connect with them. Or if you have a friend outside of this circle that also wants to get into their best habits, why aren't you sharing this with them? Why aren't you asking them to buy the Compound Effect and to read it with you? Why aren't you inviting them over to drink Shakeology with you and share with them what you're doing on your program? It might just inspire them to not only do this with you, but to help change their life and to help set the patterns that they need for forward movement. Number 5 is competition and camaraderie. Sometimes healthy competitions are really good, right? So if you guys have some ideas of little healthy competitions you might want to do in this group, I'm absolutely open to them. Otherwise, you can do that even in your office space. You can choose to do like, hey, you guys, let's do a 5-day clean eating challenge at work, and no one's going to bring in any junk food. If it's like a teacher's lounge or something where everybody always brings in donuts, maybe it's, bring in fruit, bring in vegetables, bring in hummus, like, get people to do something and give them a little reward. Maybe at the end of the week, everybody drops $1 in the pot every day that they participate in it. And by the end of the week, there's $25 that somebody wins. So that could be a lot of fun. And the last one is celebrate. To celebrate your hard work and, celebrate along the way little mini rewards. You don't have to wait till 21 days out to be like, okay, I'm going to celebrate my success. Like, have markers. Like, if I do... if I abide by my clean eating all week long, then on Friday, I'm going to treat myself to a pedicure. If I, do my activities, or if I clean out my closet or whatever it is, honor yourself a reward, but make it a healthy reward so that starts to trigger in your head. Like, I'm going to buy myself a green juice if I do this. I'm going to spend extra money to do this, whatever it is, right? Like, make it a healthy reward. And so on page 92, there are some exercises that I really do want you to participate in, and I do think they're highly beneficial. So the first one is to identify your 3 habits, those that support your most important goals. So figure those ones out, and also identify your 3 bad habits that take you off course and pull you away from your important goals. Identify 3 new habits you need to develop to put you on track towards those goals that you set. Identify your core motivation. Identify what your values are and your why power. So willpower and why power are different, right? Why power is that space of, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this for my life, for how it affects my family, for how I feel about myself, for my forward movement, for habits I create in the future, for my career, for the health and well-being of myself, whatever it is. Find out your why power and find out your core motivation. So those are the ones you're doing. Again, that's page 92. It's all in chapter 3. Obviously, you're probably not going to get it all done in one night. That's a lot to journal on and to consider. So I'll really have you focus on this chapter throughout the remainder of this week, and hopefully by Friday or Saturday at the latest, you'll have gotten through all of these exercises and feel very strong about moving forward with our group and a really positive mindset with a really strong why power. Have a great day, ladies, and I will see you very, very soon. All right, bye.